Short and sweet. I had a little bit of time to play with the Blackmagic Pyxis, and I had a little bit of reservations when this thing was first announced. You guys know, if you've seen my channel and you watched my video from last week on the 6K full frame, there was a little bit of a hypothesis at the end of that video that essentially eluded and confirmed exactly what this 6K box camera is. But there's some weird stuff about it, and on paper and on the website I thought something's wrong here. It just doesn't quite make sense from an operability standpoint and ergonomics and usability, and I wanted to confirm my hypothesis by actually trying the thing, which I got to do. I look young, but I've been making videos for like 15 years now, and one of the things I love most about cameras today is that you can just pick them up and start shooting. My problem with the Pyxis when I first saw it was that screen on the side. The fact that it's baked into the side there and it doesn't move. And they didn't create some sort of side panel screen like an Alexa Mini or an FX6, FX9, even the Burano, which has a little monitor with control on it so that when you're operating the camera itself, you can change your settings and see what you're doing. With the Pyxis, unless you buy that $1,700 EVF, which is fantastic, I love an EVF, there's no way to just pick that camera up and start shooting with it. You're gonna have to add an external monitor on top. And you're thinking, well, Patrick, that's not a big deal. It's so easy to add external monitors now. But I don't want to do that every single time I want to use my camera. And on top of that, most of the external monitors now are big, bulky, and chunky, including the ones from Blackmagic. And once you have that monitor on there, there's still no way to control the camera from that monitor. You're going to be holding it and then looking off to the side of the camera to do stuff on it. That to me is just extremely strange. I just really don't understand, because it was damn near perfect, why that little screen on the side couldn't have been like an Ursa and just flipped out. Or why don't they make a nice first party solution, like sell an accessory like the EVF, which has camera control and monitoring that comes off that little arm off the top. Mostly I'm making this video in case they see it so they can say, oh yeah, we probably do need a solution like that. We need to add something that at least controls the camera from the top of the camera, because when you hold a camera, that's how you're gonna be operating it. For some people, yeah, if you're on sticks and you're doing corporate interviews and stuff, which maybe I'm just not the target for this camera. Maybe they're just going solely after these broadcast corporate people that are recording interviews. And in that sense, you're sitting on a tripod, the camera is here, and maybe that doesn't matter. And if you want to, you can look into the EVF, sure. But there's a lot of us on YouTube right now that are talking about using this instead of like a Komodo, or using it instead of an FX3 or an FX6, whatever. And for me, that just doesn't work. This camera doesn't work as a run and gun documentary filmmaking camera. It doesn't run for commercial stuff. I personally need a nice, controllable, small little monitor on the top that flips out or is constantly always there, that I can tap things and change settings and review my playback. I'm not gonna be tilting my head over at the side of this stupid thing to do what I need to do on a camera, and I don't want a big chunky monitor on top. Also, it doesn't even have HDMI out. Arguably, I would say that most of us in that $3,000 price market of this camera use HDMI monitors. So it's cool that it has SDI, but that's not really for us. And there's only a single SDI out on this thing too. So just all of it in the IO standpoint and the monitor is strange to me. I do like the form factor, generally speaking. It is a much better design than the Pockets. But the funny thing is, if I just want to start filming something right away and not have to buy any accessories, I would use the 6K full frame pocket body, which is just the most Blackmagic thing of all time. They made a box camera, and now it's actually better to use the non-box camera. But it's not all bad. I think this is still a great camera for the price point, and I just have a little bit of nitpicks for how it can be improved. And so I am not rushing out to buy one right now. I'm not even interested in really reviewing it. It's just my hands-on experience kind of confirmed my hesitation towards it, and hopefully in the next generations, or maybe they'll add some new accessories that will make this a little bit easier as a solo operator. But until then, I'm gonna hold off on this one. Again, it's only $3 grand. There's really not a whole lot to complain about. This thing's damn near disposable in the cinema market line, at least. But there's no reason why I would want to use that over like a $1,700 FX30. Sure, it's not full frame and maybe the image isn't as good. That's totally subjective, I don't care. But the usability, the way it is to film with this thing and how it feels and how simple it is, that to me is so much more important than, you know, little differences in image quality or RAW or whatever. That, at the end of the day, everything is so damn good. Just give me the camera that is the most simple and easiest to use, and that's the thing I'm gonna make great work with. I don't think I'm doing any other content from NAB, so this is probably my only NAB video, and I'm shooting it on an iPhone, which just says everything about what I think of gear right now and why I probably shouldn't even be here. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it for this one. See ya.